Okay, let's try this again. That might have been me. That might have been me. As I was tinkering with turning off notifications so my phone doesn't make a racket as we're going live, I may have accidentally hit the turn off Wi-Fi button. All right, let's see. This is take two. See if this gets through to you guys okay. But I think it was me. It was me all along, probably. So say good morning as you pop on. We'll just start again. I'll give you guys a moment. And if you're just joining us, welcome to Every Morning. This is where we meet up live, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we chat, as I was saying, business over a cup of coffee. I love taking your questions and starting my business day off with interacting with you guys, hanging out with you guys. Yay! Okay, I'm getting hearts and thumbs up and hellos. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because at the end of the day, when things go wrong sometimes, a lot of times it's user error, right? So I think that was totally my fault, not YouTube's. All right, thick fingers, right? Thick thumbs this morning. So I'm waking up and easing into the day. How is your day going, guys? Have you been up for a couple hours? Are you just rising and shining just like me? Just getting into it. Today, I'm going to talk about ways to make money in your business. And I had a message, an email from one of you watchers. I won't say who it is. I'll protect the privacy, and somebody who reached out to me on the side. And she had shared with me that she's like, what do I do? Because I have, she was saying like she has friends and family that always, ask her for information, right? Like she makes something and she always has friends and family asking her how she makes it, right? And it doesn't seem like she, that she really wants to constantly be telling them how she's doing it. Number one, sometimes you want to protect that. And number two, sometimes you just don't have time all day long to be emailing back steps of how to do stuff, right? So you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to do. And I wrote back to her, but it made me think about, having this live on here today, because really what that is, and that's what I wrote back to her, that an opportunity for what she could do. And actually this will help her, instead of feeling like she's being taken advantage of or, being used for information, or she doesn't just have the time. Because remember, when you have a business, just like when you're running a business overall, and sometimes people who know you, they think, oh, well, you're always there. You'll tell me anything. And they don't realize that this is your full-time business. Like this is how, quite literally, you pay for the heat. You keep the lights on. You keep your home. You have gas to put in your car. You're able to feed your family. And you have to treat what you're doing seriously, right? It's not a hobby anymore. It's a business. And so you have to get strategic about it. Otherwise, you're missing some great opportunities in ways that you could grow your business. And so we're all about growing here. So I want to talk to you about different ways that you can totally make money. And so in her case, sounds like she has something that people want, whatever it is that she makes and creates. And that is a great opportunity right there to, and this is one of the things I want to talk to you guys about creating like informational products, okay? Products where, remember I touched on yesterday about selling your knowledge? You can package up your knowledge. Now, you can give friends or family a discount if you want to do that, right? You can say, yeah, you know what? I did a video, right? Because I get that question so many times. And, I get that question so many times. And so I put together a video, and I usually charge this much, but you know what? You're my friend. I'll just give it to you for half off, right? And you can accommodate them that way. But at the end of the day, you got to protect your time, because we only have so much time, right? I think, isn't it like Oprah? Who else listens to soulful conversations on Sundays with Oprah? And she says, thank you, Billy. I appreciate the love. Thank you. She's like, everyone needs to like Sonia's videos. Yes, support your creator. I appreciate you guys doing that, right? That helps me be able to keep doing what I'm doing, which is giving you this information for free and showing up for you guys this morning. Just support me with your hearts and your comments. So thank you very much for thinking of me like that. So what was I saying? So yeah, so when you have a business, you have to think about it seriously, right? And you have to protect your time, because like on Oprah, I'm pretty sure it's hers, where she's on Sundays, she has, she'll interview famous people, authors, anybody. I'll just listen to the conversation. And it could be anybody that she's interviewing, because I just love to hear the way other people think, and you hear their perspective, and it makes you things that make you go, as I always say, right? Makes you think about stuff. And so I love like Sunday mornings, if I'm doing any cleaning, or I don't know, I'm working on the dishwasher, just listening to somebody talk about life lessons or something like that. We all know what Oprah does and the type of interviews she does. But in their openings, I think she says like, time is the most precious thing that we have. We forget about that sometimes, right? Like time is flying right now for all the things that we want to do in our lifetime. I mean, just look at this month. This is the 23rd of January. I'm starting to see stuff where spring is coming up, these memes about spring is like, I don't know, 6, 7, how many days away, 6, 7 weeks or how many days away. And you realize that time is flying, right? And you have to protect your time. And so I want you to think about that as one of the ways that you can make money. I'm going to talk about a bunch of them and ways that I have made money this way before, because sometimes we get stuck and we always think that business is one-sided. I have this ring that I have to sell, right? But really, this is more than a hobby. You've been doing this for a while and you probably have a lot of information. And I've said on here before that regardless of where you are right now, you have something to teach other people. You are ahead because you might have done this for the 5th time, for the first time, and you learn something every single time you do it. And they're just starting out and they don't even know where to start, right? You're always ahead of them. And so I wrote down a bunch of ways that you can make money online. I'm just going to go through them because I want you today to start thinking about the kind of business that you have, what you have right now. And you guys know, right, that if you ever heard of this before, that people who are very, very successful, they don't often rely on one way to make money. They have multiple ways to make money. Because, for me, for example, my brick and mortar store is only open. It's not even open today. All right. But I'm still going to make money in my business because my online store is open 24/7, right? That never, ever closes. And so that right there alone is 2 arms of revenue for me. I have the people who walk in my store when my store is open, and I have the people who come online, right? So if you do any reading, which you can tell, I'm a reader. I love, love, love reading people who have gone before me. Like I said, you can learn so much just in life in general and get wisdom from people in general. Oh my goodness gracious. And you can also learn from people in business as well. When I was a reporter, one of my favorite things I would do is I would go and get the approval to go into, for example, senior living homes. And I would interview the residents and ask them, it could be anything. So one day it could be like, so tell me, what you've learned in life about XYZ, and the stuff that they would say, right? It would be they're at the other end of their life, right? There's so much to glean from them because they've lived it, and they can tell you, like, don't get caught up in this, this is the stuff that you should focus on. Which reminds me, I found a quote. I want to share this with you guys because you guys know that I am big on empowerment and getting the mindset right. Okay, so this, all right, sorry, a big thumb, and that was my big knee. All right, it says, confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't, right? You're confident in your own ways. And you know that what you're doing is awesome, regardless what anybody ever says about you, regardless if you had to tell somebody that, sorry, I protect my time. You're not going to tell them that like that. But you know what? Yeah, you can buy my video, right? Video that they can pay for. So confidence is knowing that you have something, right? You got something here and you believe in yourself enough that, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you. But here's how you get access to the information. So we can set some things up in our business to make us extra money. So just like a cord, like think about like a rope, all the little strands that make it up, make it tighter, right? So if nobody's coming into your storefront today, or you can't get into your storefront, or let's say, for example, something happens and you get sick, all the things that you have to think about that really happens in life. If you go into it thinking about, I'm going to set up my business because I'm in this for the long haul, right? I got confidence in myself that I am ready to go all in and do what it takes to make this business rock and roll. And what also happens is when you're making money in business, the people who are around you, they start like taking notice, like, where'd you get that to? What? Now all of a sudden you have money to pay for a hotel, and you're going to go out on a nice evening with your husband, or buying tickets to go somewhere to see something, or buying something that you guys need, like a new air conditioner, or just those things. You know what I mean? I remember, because we were broke. I remember that the lawnmower that we had died, and we got it when we had moved into the house. It belonged into the initial house, Matt's family member's house that we were living in. And that lawnmower died and we couldn't get it fixed. All right. We had people come look at it and it couldn't get fixed. And it came to the point where, okay, it was so old that we needed a new lawnmower, just to have a lawnmower. And a lawnmower, we went to Lowe's, was right around, I think it was around $300. One of my very first purchases with my money that I made from painting furniture with people for people was a lawnmower, a red lawnmower. And we still have that push mower. There was nothing special about it, right? It was just the basic thing, but we couldn't afford it. We literally had no money to go buy it. And your neighbor's driving past your house and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta mow the lawn, right? And so, but I remember the feeling of going, oh my goodness, I can go out and I can buy this lawnmower for our family. And so sometimes, just having the little extra thing like that, or just being able to pay a bill extra that month because you made a little extra money, can go so far for your family, to take the stress off your husband, to take the stress off whatever the family finances, right? So yes, I'm all about, trying to figure out what is it that you do well and how can you help other people with it and how can you monetize that, right? So if you take it from hobby to a strategic business. And a lot of us, maybe our cords aren't that tight just yet because we're starting with one strand. So typically the first strand starts off as, I have a product that I have made, that I have found, whatever, and I am going to sell to the general public, right? That is the first side of selling. Product, transaction happens, this for that, right? And so it can get really hard because, especially if you're making that, the only way to make more money is, oh my gosh, I got to work more hours. I'm going to have to work all the time because you know what? It took me 5 days to get that dresser just the way I wanted it. Phew. All right. And now I got to sell it and it's got to sit there. And it's going to take up space. It's going to be in my way. And I got to protect it to make sure I don't splash paint onto it. And then I got to find the right buyer and I got to take time to meet up with them. And anyway, 5 days later, the next product to get ready for somebody else, right? So there's that, and you're going to make money that way. It'll sit there and it'll sell, right? If not, change it up, do something different with it, right? So what do you guys think about that? Somebody read in. The first way is have a product and just sell it, whether you make it or whatever. It's on your store shelves. It's just purely this for that, all right? Self-worth, when you can contribute to your family. Oh yeah, you feel good, right? When you are a contributor to your family, absolutely. And when you realize that, you know what? People want what you have and they love your talents, right? So there are people in the world that will, just like that lawnmower, like I told you, there are people in the world that will say, I'm not going to mow my lawn. And there are people in the world that go, I am not paying somebody to mow my lawn, because we can do that. We can do that ourselves and save so much money, right? So you have to remember that you have clients, potential customers that will not want to buy that product from you, right? They don't want to buy that dresser from you. They want to learn how you made it so they can go on and do their own spin on things, right? And they will pay you for your knowledge. Okay. So remember, when I first started my business, and what I started as is the same thing as what I'm saying. And this is why you learn and you grow. I painted a product, then I put it up for sale and I sold it. Right. And at that time, even how I got into Jug Monkey Paint Company and how that all evolved was eventually people were coming in and I started listening to them when they would say, what is this? What beautiful paint brand did you use? This is gorgeous. And I would even say at the beginning, because you know what? I didn't even realize what I had. And that's why I'm talking to you guys. You don't even realize what you have, right? And I am so thankful that I came to that realization when people would touch and feel and come into my storefront that I went on to have. And they'd say, where did you get that brand of paint? Or what is that? That is gorgeous. And I first would say, oh, it's not no branded paint. It's a paint that I like to use that my husband made for me, just that I like to use as a shabby painter, that gives me the ability to be able to do furniture the way I like to be able to do it. And they like the look of it, right? And then eventually, one day somebody said, well, can I buy some of this paint from you? And I'm just like, I've never sold that before. I've always used it for me. And then you have the epiphany, because you start to sell the paint, that there are people out there that want to buy that finished furniture, but there are also people out there that will support you and buy from you because they want the pleasure of doing it themselves, right? In their own color, in their own way, finding their own piece. So that opens up another arm of revenue for you, right? For me, people now not just bought the furniture, but they came and went, I want what you use to put on it because I want that exact same look too. So if I kept my business one-sided, it would have never gone on to scale and to grow the way that it grows today. So I want you to start really thinking bigger, all right? And write down, because everybody has different things that they will go on to do in their business, right? You will go on to do something different than somebody else because you know what? You like to do certain things and you don't like to do other things over there. So you got to carve out your own way. because we're introverts, we're extroverts, I don't know, we're just all, we're all made up different ways. And so what works for somebody else is not going to work for you. It's not going to give you energy. It's going to drain you. So physical product, make a sale. Done. All right. Think about the next thing you could do to make money. How about commissions? Commissions is where, okay, that product is sold, but you can advertise it to bring in more revenue, because you can say to somebody, I made this quilt, I made this beaded bracelet, I did this mosaic on the wall, I did this beautiful bridal cake, right? I did this beautiful photography shoot, fill in the blank. It works for any single business that you want. I hosted this beautiful catering event for somebody, whatever it is that you did, and let people know that you can do it again. All right. So I did that one time, use that. And I think it was Judy we were talking about yesterday about, what happens, how can you use like photos of old stuff when it's already sold? Use it as an example for how, yes, that teal nightstand sold within 30 minutes of me posting it, but I would love to be able to paint your daughter's end stand just like it, because I did it and I can do it again, right? Because when you're a creative, that's the really cool thing. You can produce it again and again, right? But it helps you when you realize that not only can I make one and sell it, I can use it as advertised and then open services for people to partake in to make it more available to them. Well, Jocelyn, you are in the right place. Nice. Jan says she's taking a class to help her make another revenue source. Yes, the cord is stronger when you have more ways, right? So today we're talking about what's going to work for you. And do you have it already in your business? Because these are things that you can be doing, all right? So the next thing, and you know what? The next thing, and we'll talk on this now since this kind of came up. This phone here, think about how, as much as people complain about just everybody's on their phones and the capabilities that it has and social media, woe is me, which I'm just I don't know about you, but you can play the victim over there, complain about the algorithm, or you can embrace it and go, I'm just so thankful that we don't have to pay to be on Facebook and I can reach people at my fingertips on this beautiful thing called a smartphone, right? Because when you have your phone, and I mean, if you have a phone over the last few years, they've gotten so good with the cameras on them that you can film on your phone. And you're doing the work anyhow. So what would it take for you to film a video on your phone, okay? And with that you're filming, to go ahead and create something like a video, a tutorial that you're doing, like the lady who messaged me and said, what do I do with all these people who are constantly asking me for stuff? I'm not somebody who, and I heard somebody else say this one time on some sort of podcast I was listening to, and they said they hate the phrase, can I pick your brain? Because it sounds like quite literally like a turkey carcass and somebody is picking it over, right? I have enough on my plate and, in trying to maintain strength to keep my business going, that I don't want somebody to pick my brain clean. I mean, it just sounds awful. And I'm like, that is such a good visual representation. And they don't realize when they say what they're doing, because they don't realize, because, hey, she's nice. I see her all the time, but she's also the CEO of her own business, right? And just like if somebody else went to work, and you're not going to bug them at work, right? Because, they're out at work right now. I'll message them after, or, I'll leave them an email after, or something like that, right? This is what they do. You have to treat what you're doing like a business. You just can't get up in the middle of the day and go for lunch with people until maybe you put in all those arms of revenue, and then you can make money while you're asleep or money while you're down the road, having lunch or whatever. But you do the work to get yourself set up to that place, right? But when you're actually in the throes of growing your business, just like if you were working in mainstream business, you go to work, you put your head down, right? You got to stay focused on what it is that you're doing. You got a job to do, and you got to treat what you do as a job as well. So film your stuff, turn it into a video tutorial. And one of the best ways you can figure out what should I film is, what are people asking you? All right. And that's why I say you are already doing something, and you might not view yourself as the expert, but you've done enough that other people that are behind you view you as the expert, whether you have, as we talked about in our quote, the confidence or not, right? You have done this, and you've gotten through this, and you've created some beautiful things, or you've gone on to do some beautiful things, because it doesn't always have to apply to makers and creators. I mean, even think if you run something like, if you run a successful vendor store, if you run a successful booth, anything like that, that's not even a product that you're showing somebody how to DIY. That is how to get into the vendor business, how to, stage within a booth that you have, right? It can go bigger than that. How to source estate jewelry that I go on to sell, that you see me sell at my, in my store, where I find my stuff, things to look out for. You can put together a nice high value that will help somebody else. Because here's the thing, right? Yes, people say, oh, I'm not going to pay for that. I could get that for free. You go for it, right? You go for it, because you're not going to get all the information. You're not going to get my spin on things. You're not going to get my headspace of thinking, right? And you're more than welcome to spend days and weeks and a half a year and going and listening to this from this person and listening to this from this person and going on this website and watching gazillion YouTube videos over here that don't even give you what you actually want to hear. And then all this time, go back to what Oprah said, your time is the greatest asset, right? So people will pay for shortcuts, for what you can tell them to improve their life, because where you are, somebody else, chances are, is looking at you right now with hearts in their eyes going, wow, I would love to do what she does or he does. So always remember that, right? That's right. Somebody's saying about how, Chris is saying how to make cute cupcakes. Absolutely. Go ahead and start building. Now, there are things that you can give away for free, and there are things that you hold close as well, right? There's a thing in life, and they say it's called the 80-20 rule, right? Where pretty much in life, it can apply to anything in life. So in business, if you know the 80-20 rule, you know what? Give 80% of it away and keep 20% of it. That's what you make the money on, right? But remember how we talked yesterday about, stepping out in front of the camera. How are people going to know what you really like and what you are really like? And if they can trust you and get to know you if you don't step out and have the confidence, going back to the quote this morning, regardless of whether they like you or not, you're just still going to go on and do your thing, because your vibe will attract your tribe, and the right people, you will attract them in your business, right? But if they don't know anything about you, how are they going to do business with you when they're ready to come and, use your services? So things that you can do with your smartphone is you can film a course. You can break it up. If you have something bigger, you can film it up in a bunch of segments. You can do one video, right? So that's like a visual learner. So that's great if you can put yourself on camera and you feel confident in doing that. An easier way to even start is even using an ebook, or creating an ebook, for example. And that is where you type something out. And because you're like, I'm not ready to do that just yet, but I'd be okay with typing out a book and taking time every single day to work on that, and, formatting it. There's places online where you can get ebooks formatted. Just Google it, for heck's sake. When you know it exists, then you just go ahead and you just Google that, right? And find somebody who will format your book for you and put it up for sale on your website. You're going to have a place to sell it from, right? It's going to be hard to send it to people physically in their email. You can start with that at first, but ultimately, you don't want, if you're doing this, to allow more time for yourself, so you can make your time go further and you can make more money without having to stretch yourself like Gumby, right? So manually sending everybody a video, yes, you could probably do that when you first start off. But, if you're promoting it and it's going to grow, then you're going to want to embed it onto a website or some sort of place where you can pay. And that's what you do. You're paying for their storage fee, right? To be able to store something onto it, like a Vimeo. You guys, if you're in my coaching group, you know that, I use Vimeo for storage. You can use YouTube for storage even, right? And make your stuff unlisted when you're first starting out. And that's a free way to do it. A lot of people do that. You could do webinars where, people could pay to, just like they could pay for a course, pay for a video, pay for a book, right? They could also pay for a webinar, all right? So many people have been asking me, okay, Sonia, and I've never done this, and this is an opportunity, and would I ever do it? Yeah, probably down the road. You painted kitchen cabinets in people's homes for a year and a half. You did 70. You did one every single week. Could I host a webinar on all the things I learned from doing kitchen cabinet painting, over 70 sets of cabinets, all about stuff about, becoming a contractor yourself, the legalese of going into somebody's home, protecting yourself. So, you make sure your business is set up properly. The contracts that I use for somebody else, oh my gosh, I would love to have access to Sonia's contract, because I'm just starting out. What should I even put into it, right? You're so far ahead of somebody else that you're not even realizing that what you have can benefit somebody else, right? And so this is what I'm saying. There are many things that you can help people with, but there are also things that you can say, you know what, this is so valuable that this is going to be one of the pieces of things that I take the time to film and to do, that will go on. And when you create stuff, think about it too. So if you're going to be somebody who is going to film something, make it evergreen. Have you guys ever heard of that term before? Think about something that's always in bloom, all right? You know, an evergreen tree. Think of something that's always there. It's sustainable. And so if you do a tutorial on how to do a Christmas gnome, well, that's only going to be good for Christmases, right? Whereas, you know, maybe if you do something that's a little bit more year-round oriented, you've done that work. And you know what, no matter what time of the year it is, there's always somebody who wants to know how to do X, Y, Z. You know, there's always people all year round trying to open up a vendor booth and going, okay, what do I need to know about this, right? You know, or I want to open up my own storefront. Could I do a course on things that you should be aware of and how to set yourself up, and like really go into an intense course that's highly focused on all the things I learned about having a brick and mortar store? I've had mine since 2014. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. After over 5 years, you really begin to learn a lot, right? And especially if you go through changes. There are changes that you've gone through and you've learned from that could make beautiful informational products. Your knowledge is power that you can go on to sell, all right? That is more than the product that you painted today, or that ring that you have for sale, or even that painting, right, that you have for sale, or whatever it is. All right, the next thing, all right, that you could do. This is very popular, and it's been very popular for the last few years. You could think about opening a membership site. And this is great for people who, love like stability, and you want to have reoccurring income, okay? That is what, when you do a subscription group, and they're everywhere. Think about, like, I don't know, Raiser of the Month Club. Think about your Netflix subscription, all the stuff that you subscribe to, you know, even like your Amazon Prime, there's an annual fee that you pay, right? Some credit cards have an annual fee and you get to use them. You know, there's different services that are out there, and it's applied different ways, but they can always count on that, right? There's no question of whether or not, oh my gosh, Netflix is going to wonder if they're going to get the money from me this month, right? So if you set yourself up with a subscription-based product, that is a great way that then you can always be promoting what you have. People are joining. And then thank you for Naomi. Naomi's over there like Wreck-It Ralph this morning with her wrench over there. Absolutely. And Chris is on here. Chris, do you want to, Matt's not here with me this morning. Chris, do you want to be a moderator here as well to help Naomi out? I know you and I trust you, my friend, and let me know. Chris says, it's no secrets. It's all been done before you, unless you build a new mousetrap. You can learn a lot online, right? One of the things that you can do is bring it all in one place. All right, let me do that. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you doing that. There we go. Now Chris is going to get the Wreck-It Ralph on my end on YouTube, just to let you know that when you make somebody a moderator, I don't know if you see it on their end, but there's a wrench next to their name. So I just handed you to Wreck-It Ralph. All right, so you can do what you got to do. Thank you. So, but yeah, the way you serve up information is different from somebody else. That's why I say it's your thumbprint, right? There could be 1,000,001 people, and that's the argument for, oh my gosh, there's 1,000,001 furniture painters. There's 1,000,001 cookie bakers. There's 1,000,001 blah, blah, blah. There's 1,000,001 gas stations. There's 1,000,001 grocery stores. Yeah, but you know what? You end up going back to your favorite ones because they have things about them that you like, right? You like that customer service. You know, they like, you know, for sure that, you know what, when you swipe your credit card there, that, you know, that you're not going to get, you know, all your funds deleted. You know that you're going to get what you get from them, and they're trustworthy. So, and you have, you know, even like doctors and things like that, right? There's doctors that you go to that just don't have the same bedside manner as somebody that you love, because you know what? They not talk about the physical health, but they will actually take time to ask you how you're doing today and how you're doing mentally. And, you know, take the time to really talk to you, right? We all put our different spin on things, and that's how we stand out. And that's why you should never try to be like anybody else. You should unfilter yourself and use the words that you use, and just be yourself, because that's how you stand out. Because I don't want to be like somebody else. Do you? No, you're not a dime a dozen. You're unique in your own way. So embrace that. So doing a subscription membership, right? You guys have heard of them before. And any of this stuff, I think I saw a question on here, like, how do you set this stuff up? Like, what do you use? I'm going to tell you one of the greatest platforms I use is PayPal. PayPal, you can set it alone where there's a one-time purchase, or you can set it up as well. And this is what I did when I did 2 years of paid membership subscription coaching, is that it came out through a recurring income, recurring charge through PayPal, right? Just knowing that you can do that is a great thing. And once you know how to do it, you just do it again and again. It's set up, right? It's real easy, but taking the time to do it. So a membership group, the only thing is you got to look at the pluses and the negatives, because with everything, there's an exchange of energy. So you have to make sure that, okay, all right, I can do this. I feel like this would not suck the life out of me. Rather, I think I would really enjoy it, right? Because you do have to come up with content all the time, regular content. So you got to learn how to be a consistent, valuable content creator, right? That comes with experience. It's going to be hard for somebody to set up a membership to something that they're just new in themselves, right? The best memberships, especially if you're doing a creative membership, comes from when you've done it long enough that there's so many gamuts of things that you've covered that you have a lot of information to work with, right? So, maybe you're at the point in your business where you're like, I'm ready to bring in this new stream of revenue. I'm going to try my own subscription group. The great other way to make money. How about offering workshops? This is great. I have done virtual paint classes online, and people show up online. You just hang out with them online, but it's for a specific crowd, right? Or you do them, part B, physically. When was the last time that you had a workshop for whatever it is that you do? And again, this can be anything that you do, whatever it is that you do. It doesn't make a difference what business that you're in. You can hold a workshop about what you're doing, right? You can hold a paint workshop where people come. I've done plenty of those where people come in and they do a project, whether it's a sign or whether it's even a painted piece of furniture and something bigger, right? Now you never want to, especially when you're doing something bigger, like a bigger project, don't go like, oh, wow, how many people can I fit in here? You have to make sure you have a good end user experience. Start off small, learn how to take care of the people that show up. And then you know what? The next time you offer it, open up a few more seats, because you're going to need stuff to think about, like wall plugins, okay? Have I ever had a paint party where everything went black and I had to go to the basement of a big, scary building? Absolutely, all right? That's how you live and learn, right? And everybody has a good chuckle as you're all standing there in the dark, and Sonya's in the basement not trying to electrocute herself and figure out where the switch is to turn it back on, right? Those things happen. And those are just, when bumps in the road happen, take it with a grain of salt, because we're all learning together, right? We are all just a work in progress. And that's what I always tell people. Even when I get comments from people who go, oh my gosh, girl, your camera, I saw you, the camera's too bumpy or whatever. I'm thinking to myself, listen, when you're ready to send over the Hollywood production team, you spring for it. I would love for them to arrive at my door, right? When you realize what you're doing is you're producing free content and you're doing it every single day. You're so committed that you're doing it every single day. You know what? Overlook this and overlook that, because I'm showing up for you, because I'm giving you free content as an example, right? Now, if you're going to do tutorials and things like that, then you're going to want to have it on your camera on a tripod. And you want to make sure that they're paying for this now. So that kind of puts it in a different category, right? This is not entertainment. This is, you're truly having an educational moment here. You're educating somebody. And so you take the time and the forethought to really make sure everything is set up appropriately and you've got it all planned out. And it's not just, it's more scripted to make sure you're covering everything versus just, having fun out there, right? Because they're paying for something very specific. But I say that to say that, when somebody says and they say something to you, just use my phrase. We're all just a work in progress, aren't we? Because let's be honest, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And we're just trying to get through life the best way we possibly can, right? You just happen to put your life on display for other people, right? You just happen to be the brave one that turns the camera on when you're going painting into the wild, right? Into the great wild, where you will find animals. Like I always say, if you go into the wild, and when you go into the wild and putting yourself out there publicly, that will happen as well. But we are all just a work in progress. And so some people like to take the high road, but let's be honest. If we could press a button and it went right back on them, what would we see, right? They would probably be even mortified. They wouldn't even get up the bravery that you have to even put themselves on camera and put them in a place there, right? Where you're doing something to help other people and to, make their day a little bit better. Marie, then just make a list. She said that she's catching up on all my videos, but she hasn't, you say you haven't changed your name? I haven't updated my page. Okay, so just work on that, right? Get yourself a whiteboard, give yourself an end goal, and say, this is the week I'm going to do it. I've got things every day. I have a list of things that I have to get done, and I go days and I don't get them done because I run out of time, but they're still there. And I know that, you know what, on that day that I feel like I'm caught up, then I can turn over to that, right? There are some things that you have to do. So if there's something that's preventing you from running your business, and that those have got to be the priority, you have got to fit them into your day. And I've used the example before of like, when you have a bucket of rocks and sand, put the big rocks in first into your day, into your bucket, and all the other little things that are not so important, right? They can fill out around the rocks. Because if you put the sand in first, all the little things that really don't make a hill of beans in your business, but you're just doing them just for busy work, and it's not really moving the needle of your business forward, you're not going to have the room, the capacity to put in the big rocks, right? And the big rocks, the big things that you have to get done, are probably the things that are going to move your business forward. And so you're going to go on and you're going to feel like you're not making as much progress as you really should. All right, workshops. We're talking about that, right? And we also talked about how people will pay for the shortcuts. All right. So people will come out to hang out with you because we all learn different ways. They might just think you're a cool cat and they love to spend the evening with you, and they'd love to come out with their girlfriends and just have a good time, paint and bring a piece of furniture with them, whatever it is that you do, doing some mixed media art, doing bead it jewelry, whatever it is. But they'll pay for the shortcuts because they're coming there that night to physically sit down with you. So they get that interaction. Maybe you got some cookies there for them. You're having it catered and you've got a pizza coming in, a $5 pizza from Little Caesars, whatever it is, because I love my Little Caesars. But people will pay for the shortcuts to come hang out and have the entertainment, but they'll also pay to learn underneath you. And for some people, they want to be in the room with the person learning, right? They want to see like, can you do a brushstroke right in front of me so I can see it? And then it can bring it to life for them. Nice. So online, you have lots of room online to grow, Marie. So let me see what else I wrote down here. Oh, yeah, okay. And so I was writing down that, yes, it works for brick and mortar, and yes, it works for online. So if you have a brick and mortar store, there's things that you do right now in your store. And I kind of already hit on that about the fact that you have a brick and mortar store. How many people want to start their business right now and you already have one? All right. You already have an antique mall with a ton of vendors, and there's somebody in a complete other state that wants as well to open up one just like you with the same idea of what you have, right? You have stuff. How to stage yourself, how to how to curate a beautiful jewelry display, because maybe what you do in your storefront is you sell gorgeous jewelry. Maybe in your storefront, you don't even make anything, but you just curate a beautiful boutique and you just have stuff all over. But stuff behind the scenes that people don't know. Like, you can go to market, that there are markets set up where you can go to market and you can go into a place, and they might be held at a state. You might be lucky enough that they're held in your state, and you can go there and you can shop all the vendors and you can buy from them, right? And right there on the spot, because you're physically like a mall, seeing all the products all laid out, right? And that's a way you can source for your store. You can share with them places that you source, some great wholesale things like that can go on to help somebody else. You didn't even make or create that. You're just to do a really good job at that. All right, next thing, let's talk about ad revenue. All right, so this is a big one as well. And this is why. Why do you think bloggers blog? All right. One of the reasons is because of the ad revenue. That is why when we go to look up easiest chicken noodle soup ever, you feel like you have to scroll forever. And you're like, gosh darn it. Will you just give me the recipe? What do I need to put in the soup? And it's not even at the top or anywhere near the middle. It's straight to the bottom, right? And you're scrolling and you're like, just don't let my thumb hit any of these ads because it's going to open up another window and I got to click out of that. And you're like, oh my Lord, just give me the recipe. Well, what you just scrolled past to get to that recipe, that is how that blogger makes money. That is called ad revenue. And so what happens is when you have your own website, just like you think about a billboard on the side of the road and traffic is passing by, when you have built your business, and Sonia will always tell you that, yes, it's okay to use social media. What do I say? That's your vehicle. That's a way for you. Make use of that so people can get to know you, right? And it's free. Enjoy your fellow friends and followers and supporters. Enjoy hanging out with them and have fun over there, right? But always make sure that you don't put all your eggs in another social media basket. have your own piece of real estate, okay, with your own traffic driving by it, okay? So ads will be the equivalent of billboards along a highway. And there are companies that know that, oh my gosh, and you can contact them as well and let them know and like raise the flag over here because they don't know everybody. But when you take the time to build a website and now you're having traffic go through your website because you've done a good job of promoting your business, now when somebody comes to your website, if you want, you can work with ad companies, all right? And yes, you can pick and choose the ads that you want or you don't want on there. Certain companies will give you a manager that you get to work with, right? You get to place where they will go onto your website. I mean, did you guys even know this? That's how it works. And then what will happen is they will pay you for how much traffic that you can get. And bloggers can get paid thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month because they spend their time creating quality recipes, creating quality blogs, which is like the written form. Say for example, I do a DIY and I break it down. And what I do is all my steps, sorry, that was a little bit I couldn't hold myself back there, but you break down all the steps that you do to make up a certain project. And it's a really good written out, all the steps that's there, great photos, that could be a great thing that you're working with an ad company and ads are placed on that. Then what happens is you're putting that link to that website with that blog other places using social media, for example, or Pinterest or wherever to promote to people to come to check that out. And then just from their eyes being on that page, you're making money, right? There are many, many ad companies that will pay you because, say it with me, just like you have products. And if you don't have eyeballs, you can have the greatest thing in the world, but nobody's going to know about it, right? So these ad companies have products that they're trying to promote, all right? And they need eyeballs on their stuff as well. So that is how you make money, right? I moved my space. That room that you saw me in is one of my next projects. I'm getting ready to rip the carpet out up there and redo the floor and redo the built-in, all that sort of stuff. So stay tuned for that because that's a project coming up. So I moved down here last night. The next thing you can do is sponsorships, for example, and even it's called affiliate links, okay? Sponsorships and affiliate links. And this is where you're working with other companies, all right? So you can make money. For example, you could write into a company. I've worked with some awesome companies, and sometimes they reach out to me, and sometimes I just reach out to them because I love what they stand for, and I know that I know their product. And so, I could reach out to somebody and say that, I'm a lover of what it is that you do. I use it a lot. And if you would send me in exchange, and sometimes it's a physical product that a company will send to you. And sometimes it's money that they will send to you. We'll give you X amount of dollars. Yes. But remember that, every single day companies get asked for stuff for free. How do I know? Every single day there's somebody messaging me for free samples, for free stuff. Remember how I went back to the beginning and I said, you have to know that, people want to pick your brain. Remember that carcass? All right. And people want everything for free. Well, man, you will look like a plucked chicken at the end of the day. You will have nothing because you have given it all away. So you have to have boundaries because there is an awful lot of people out there that want stuff from you, right? So when you approach a company, remember that if they're giving you something in exchange, and for some of you guys, some of the things that they give in exchange is that not only do they give you a product, but they will give you a shout out on their social media, and they have a lot more followers, right? And you have the opportunity to be seen in front of their audience, right? And the other thing we know about a business is it's all about relationships. So sometimes you do a sponsorship and, having somebody introduce you, like, this is my friend, and they like you, and you're introducing them to your friend that you say that you like, or you like their stuff, then automatically that trust just pulls over there, right? Oh, well, you know what? I trust Sonia. So I trust her opinion. And so if she says today that, this XYZ is awesome, then I'm going to believe her because she tells the truth, right? Because there's already this relationship going on here. So sponsorships and working with other companies or becoming affiliates with other companies, which means is that they can give you a link where you can, if you promote their product in good light and good standing, and then what will happen is it can be tracked. Sometimes it's done through code, sometimes it's done through links, and you can even make a portion of every sale, and you're like an ambassador, right? So there's also that as well. So remember that when you're writing into companies, and you can go onto their website, you can find out, their contact information. Remember that if you want something from them, if you want them to pay you, right, a sponsorship or something like that, or give you something, tell them what you're going to do for them. Okay. So you can say, well, and this is why you're building up your Facebook business page, because you have analytics. If you really want to do that, I've had sponsorships with Modern Masters, with Ryobi, some really big brands out there. And in doing that, you show your analytics, you show your reach. So when I showed you my reach, when we last checked, it was at 1.5 million people is my reach right now on my Facebook page alone, not including my other social medias. When you're able to show a statistic like that, people go, yeah, I'll send you free power tools. Yeah, I'll pay you for your time, right? Because you're able to show them. And that's why Sonia's going to tell you, as your daily business coach here, telling you the truth, that when you do it consistently, don't ever go, I should not post on my Facebook page and let it go, because the things and the opportunities that it can bring you down the road, you might think, and I'm just not posting this today, or I'm taking a couple weeks off. If you're going to be inconsistent like that, your business is just not going to grow as fast as it could. It's not going to make you as much money as you possibly could if that's what you're trying to do and you feel like you just can't get off the ground, right? Doing the things like I'm telling you in here, like setting up your own website. Now you got traffic coming to it. That's a whole other component of it, right? So it is amazing. It is awesome to get to that point. So yeah, be consistent. Show up every single day for your, yes, absolutely, Tammy. Show up every single day, right? Because that's what experts do, right? The doctor pretty much is in every day, right? Unless he's on vacation or he's gone away learning, and you know what? He deserves to do that, right? But when you see people that show up every single day, that those are the ones that you're going to go to because they got your back, right? You feel like they got their minds wrapped around it. They are the experts. And you know what experts also have? Experts have books, right? What did we talk about, right? Write an ebook. You don't even have to have a physical book. Although let's just throw that in here as well as another way to make money, because you can write a book, right? It could be an ebook. You can also self-publish books if you really want to write a book and you're just really good at writing. And versus video, you can just write words on paper to the point where somebody reads a book and they just can't put it down. And it just flows so nice. You can write books that just give general tips, or it could be anything, listen to what your people are saying. So if you, if they're asking for stuff from you, that could be a great way to, for ideas for what you should go on to do. Chris says, absolutely. Consistently posting will raise your numbers. It's what happens. Yep. You get more of a track record, right? You just get more of a track record. And in the Facebook world, you're posting the right stuff and you're getting engagements. And again, that gate opens wider and wider, like we've talked about here on this page. Good. Valerie says her goal is to be more consistent posting in Facebook and Instagram pages. Absolutely, because everybody is on different places, right? There are people that if you don't have an Instagram account, that you will never find them on Facebook because they cannot stand Facebook. All right. And there are people on Facebook that will go, I don't even understand how Instagram works. So you know what? Let's start with one, right? Maybe I should talk about the breakdowns of like the different social medias and what I have come to realize, the bells and whistles of each of them, or how to use them, different ways that you could use them. Because do I post the same thing? How do I use hashtags? What are these stories? All right. What am I posting exactly? Am I posting links? There's, because every one of those platforms, even here on YouTube, they all have their own language that they speak. Now, remember, Facebook owns Instagram, but they still operate. Now they're starting to link together a little bit more as time goes on, but they are their own little worlds, quite literally. Anybody else agree? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Different streams of revenue. So let me recap for you. We talked about just to take it bigger than the one product and the one wreath that you make, and the one thing that you did and it took you all week to get done. And now you have to wait for the sale before you even get money for supplies to go on to do the very next thing. Like the core that's stronger, the more streams of revenue that make up your business. And I think I started off to say, but I never really finished it up, is that most successful millionaires, billionaires tell you that they have multiple streams of revenue. All right. And they do that because There might be days, like I use the example of your storefronts closed, but you have the way to make money online, okay? And if nobody's buying, I don't know, if nobody is buying this online, today you're promoting this book over here, but they're buying your book over there, all right? Or today, you know what, nobody's buying from you, but you just got paid from a company that's gonna sponsor you with something that they're giving you, whether it's money or it's free product. And never underestimate free product that somebody gives you, because sometimes people will give you free product and then see how you do with it and see if you actually deliver on it. And if you're not somebody that delivers on it, they're never going to want to work with you again, right? Because they're putting faith in you as well. And so never underestimate even smaller beginnings where you're just getting a product, and you have the opportunity to show a company what you could do for them. They could come back again and they could sponsor you with more money. Who knows the things that you can go on to do and develop a long-lasting relationship. So physical product. You could do commissions to redo what you just did for other people on whatever it is, right? Or you could build what you did already for somebody else again and again because you're the creative. You could film e-courses. You could do videos. You could write ebooks. You could host your own webinars, right? You could do a subscription membership group for reoccurring income if you want to do that. Oh, I totally forgot about this one. How about one-on-one, helping them? You know, I could go at any given time when I want to open this up in my business, and you can too because you've done it long enough. You could put on your website, or you could go on your social media and say, guys, you know what? I have cleared my schedule, or I am at a point right now where I can help you with one-on-one coaching in your business, or I could help you with one-on-one coaching or consulting if you want me to help, if you want to actually pay me to look at you individually. And I'll tell you what you need to be doing if you want to get that vendor store off the ground, if you want to promote yourself as a destination, right? So you can then, another arm of revenue is just to do one-on-one. So people will pay you to go, you are so good at color. I had a lady message me this week from Texas, and she said, Sonia, I love watching what you're doing. This is what literally she said to me. I love what you're doing, and I'm a retiree right now. I love how you bring stuff together on a budget. You're not afraid to use color. I love your ideas, and I see you got a lot of stuff everywhere, but is there a way that I can pay you to have you work with me? Do you offer paid consulting, right? And she's not the first one that's ever asked that. So when you get to a point, then it's just up to you. You just get to decide, you know, do I want to paint kitchen cabinets? Or I did that for a period of time. You know what? I think I'm ready to try something else. I think I feel like I want to move on. I want to evolve as a person, because that's what we all do. And now I want to do some one-on-one consulting, right? There's another arm of revenue there. And that can work with a lot of different things. Maybe you have one slot a month, okay? And you just start off with one thing. You do one-on-one consulting for somebody else on how do you want to learn how to paint furniture? I will open up one spot this month where, you know what, I will take you, whether it's physically or, you know what, if you know how to use FaceTime or you know how to use Skype. I mean, how many of us FaceTime? I FaceTime with my family back in Canada. If I can do that, right, on a Saturday morning, I can Skype or FaceTime with somebody else and give them my time, and my time is money. Going back to Oprah, somehow in our opening, she says that time is our greatest asset. Because, yeah, if you run out of time, that's why you have to guard yourself, right? You really have to guard yourself. Otherwise, you'll be the rotisserie picked chicken. It's a terrible way to think about it, but isn't that the truth, right? So do these things. One-on-one coaching, workshops. We talked about ad revenues, people sponsoring you, affiliates. And so there's lots of things that you can do. So hopefully this chat has opened up your mind to thinking about, man, I should just get away from being one-sided. I should really think this year about trying some other things. And try it, and you'll either decide if you like it, if you want to move away from it, if you want to evolve it, if you want to change it. You can change anything you want because you're the owner of the business. So just because you start down a path doesn't mean you got to stay there, right? Marie says, what would you charge for one-on-one to teach your craft? So this is my honest to goodness truth. What would make you happy if you sat down with somebody and they paid you? Like what would that amount be for you? Because we all live differently. We're all at different parts of our business, right? But it's like I tell people when you're selling furniture, don't look at somebody else going, oh my gosh, they offered $500 for this buffet. So I should do the very same thing. No, you shouldn't. You should do whatever, because you're your own business and you can set your own prices, right? I don't sell paint because other people sell at higher prices. I set it at the price point that I want to set it at because I have my own set of values. And you know what? That's how I operate from, right? So when you are setting prices for something, don't look at other people. What are you going to be happy with? And let's even flip that. What would you be bitter with, right? If you gave time to somebody and you walked out and you had that pit in your stomach, like, I should have charged more. Sometimes you do it and you put a price on it and you realize, wow, this is like a little bit more than what I even anticipated. You still honor the price you gave somebody, but then you go, okay, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to change that price from, I don't know, from 25 to now it's 45, because I did not realize that it actually, I just took on a little bit more than I could chew, or it takes a little bit more of my energy, or you know what, even if you just evolve and you get more when you're doing that and you're learning all the time, now your expertise becomes more in demand because you know what, you've gotten better at it and you really escalate it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a hockey player when they first start off to where they are now and the growth that happens, and all of a sudden they got, you know, they're more in demand, right? And so as long as you're selling stuff, regardless if it's anything informational, regardless if it's a physical product, I don't care what it is, be happy with it yourself, because you're setting up your business for your own happiness, right? So don't underestimate yourself. But once you put a price out there, and remember I have a pricing video, and one of the things I say into it, Wendy, you know, you need to raise your prices. If you put a price onto it and you're happy with the price, but still you also hear people going, girl, you could like get more for that. You should totally increase your prices. You know what? You might want to increase your prices. All right. And if you are constantly booked up till the cows come home to the point now where you can't even fit any more people in there, that's because probably you're at such a low price point that you have some wiggle room to even increase it even more. Right. And you can work with clients that you want to work with. That is the most beautiful thing. If I ever said no to people that wanted me to paint their kitchen cabinets, yep. Absolutely. I sure did. I did it in a very nice way. And, you know, you can determine that it's just not going to be a good fit because there are just certain personality types that, you know what, you know, great idea on the color. I don't think it's going to be a good fit. And, you know, they can go on if you find somebody else because they want what you have. Right. And so as you go on, you just get the confidence in business. Right. Let's go back to the quote that we talked about today, because confidence is everything. Confidence is not, will they like me? Should I do this book? Sonya, I don't know. Should I do this video? Confidence is, I'll still be fine if they don't, because I know what I do and I put it out there, and you will find people that like you. All right, my friends, it is 9 o'clock. We are going to wrap up, and I have got a ton of things to do today, packing and shipping. So I'm going to go ahead and to get into that myself. Hopefully you enjoyed this chat, and hopefully, like I said, it opened your mind up to start thinking about all the other different ways that you can make money. And don't just be one-sided. Does it take work to put all those other things in? Yes. Is it all going to happen at once? Nope, it is not. So just pick the next thing that you want to bring into your business, because like a snowball that just keeps picking up the layers, the consistency of when you're doing it, there's so many good things that come from consistency, right? And all those layers add up, because what you got done last week is one less thing that you got to do this week. And you already got that done. All right. You already got that done. And the beauty about when you're doing videos and stuff like that, if you take the time to do it, you did the video, and then you did the time to figure out how to get it online, and you figure that part out. Once it's done, it is done. It is behind you. And now, you know what? It's done. And so when you're moving on doing something else, you can make money while you sleep, quite literally, right? Isn't that the dream you hear about? I want to make money while I sleep. Well, you can. Thank you to the beauty of social media. So the next time you hear somebody going, I hate social media, I can't figure it out, the algorithm's always changing. Woe is me. Go sit in the corner with a blanket, because you know what? You're probably not cut out to be a business owner, because business owners, they look at opportunities and they go, I'm a leader, and I'm a solution-driven person. I can see the positive in this, and I'm going to dwell and choose to dwell on the positive, right? Remember how the chat I had on here about putting your blinders on, protecting your peace, and cutting out, getting out of groups, getting out of things like where you just don't want that negativity. No, business is hard enough. Surround yourself with people that keep you reaching higher, that keep you focused and make you want to go and take the time to work on your business, because your business is your dream. Your dream, not somebody else's. So if you don't do it, don't count on somebody else to do it for you, right? You got to do it yourself. Every morning, somebody makes you get out of bed. Every morning, somebody makes you, or every morning, nobody makes you get out of bed. Every morning, nobody's going to make you do the hard stuff, right? That all comes from within. So surround yourself with people that keep you reaching higher and let you know that, yeah, you can do it. Not everybody can do it, but I'm telling you, you can do it. Very nice. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate the comments. And if you would be so kind as even to share this video, that would be the world to me. That allows me to be able to keep doing what I once did for paid purposes in coaching, to be able to do it for free here on this YouTube platform that is ran. Oh, this is a good tidbit for you guys. Talking about how you can make money. Guess what? I've shared this before. Guess what Facebook runs on? Ads, right? So I can get paid with ad revenue, or I can choose to say, I'm going to have a coaching group and you're going to pay me up front for it, right? I'm just choosing to be my own business person. I've done this model before. I'm switching it up. I love the freedom of being on here. So for this model to continue, I appreciate your love, your comments, your hearts, so that me as a creator can continue to show up for you in your life and continue to do this, right? So it's pretty amazing. Business is amazing. We live in a world where we can just do so many amazing things. And for those of you who have been asking me about YouTube, I'm going to cover that. We've got a big, long year ahead of us. So I'm excited about that. Very nice. You set an alarm every morning. Woohoo. All right. Well, let's go get it done. Chris says, you make us get out of bed, Sonia. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You know what I should do? Just give me an idea, Chris. I'm going to I'm going to like record a ringtone. All right. And I'm going to, that'll be an arm of revenue for me. I'm going to record a ringtone or an alarm, and I'm going to put it online. I'm going to say, you can download my ringtone. All right. And it'll be 99 cents, and you download it, and the alarm goes off every morning. It'll be like, get up. It's your day to make it or break it. You make it a good day or a bad day. You want this bad enough? Get out of bed, Chris. Get out of bed and let's just get working on our business, right? Every morning. Your input determines your output. So start the day right. Yes, absolutely. Sean is like, yes, she's ready to get going. All right, well, I'm telling you, let's go ahead and get to work and start working on the stuff that we need to get done. All right, because I got stuff that I need to get done. And you got stuff too. I'll see you guys here again tomorrow morning. You'll be like, be quiet, Sonia. I can't take it today. Wouldn't that be so funny? See? Yeah. Now, if I really come out with that, I'll be like, see, I listened to my audience and I did something that I don't even know even exists out there that somebody else ever does, right? So do what makes sense for you in your business and listen to your people. That's right. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Take care. My coffee's done and I hope yours is too. See ya. Bye.